All right, you guys, let's talk about how you do one thing is how you do absolutely everything. And the reason I want to talk about this video today is because, as you guys know, every time I'm going through something, a situation, or I'm learning something in my life, I like to talk about it with you guys to share, spread the wisdom, because I love you guys, I care about you guys, and I want you guys to also live your best life ever. And this has been on my mind recently because I just went through a situation that I do want to keep this one a little private. I share everything else with you guys, but this one, the reason I don't want to say what it is because it means so much to me to have finally made this decision in my life to fully commit to something that I feel so excited about that I just want to keep it to myself for now because it means a lot. I'm sure I'll tell you guys later in the future what it is, but for now, this is what I want to be talking about. As for this situation, there's been something that I've been struggling with for a very long time. And this has probably been over a year in the coming of this final decision that I had to make. And I'm really happy about it because there's been a lot of pent up emotion inside of me, a lot of pent up anxiety and things that I was going through to lead me to this decision that I was coming to, where I had to make some really big decisions for myself in my life and who I was going to be associating with and everything else that I needed to do to make sure that I am following my true core in life. That is something that I always share with you guys. And so by going through with this thing that has been probably giving me anxiety for like about a year, not allowing me to be fully releasing and expressing myself, I was finally getting to the point where my pain tolerance was like so insanely high that I decided to just finally do something that was long overdue with a friend of mine. And man, I can't tell you the weight that was lifted off my shoulders, but this brought me to a very interesting realization, because by making this full decision and this full commitment with this person, I realized that there was something inside of myself that was going through all this pain, that it was affecting every area of my life. And by finally having made that decision to do the thing that I needed to do, which was long overdue, and I knew it was coming anyway, so I just should have done it anyway, which is something that I will be working on. I finally got to that point where I made that decision, and it was absolutely incredible. By making that full commitment that I needed to do, the very next day, everything changed for me in my life. It was insane. And it was just like the world was waiting for it. And I swear God and the universe, they all work with you and for you. And they're just waiting for you. And they keep putting you in the same situation over and over and over. And if there's something that you want to change in your life, you're going to keep going through the same repeated situation until you finally make a new decision. You change what is going on and you finally make that new decision. And when you make that new decision, you yourself as a person know that you have changed as an individual, and the world and the universe knows that you have changed as an individual. And the world can now bring together new aids and new help to come about your way. Again, this reminds me of a quote that I read inside of Think and Grow Rich. If I can remember off the top of my head, I'll throw it in here. But it's a quote about how through all the struggles you go through, it's a quote by Emerson, all the struggles you go through, as long as you fully desire something and you want to go a certain direction in your life, when the time is right, everything that you need to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish or go wherever you want to go in life, everything will come to your aid. So by finally making the decision that I wanted to make, I changed myself fully as a person. I started doing things differently, and I noticed because I had made the decision that I needed to, by making myself fully committed to something that I needed to be fully committed to, I released all the anxiety that I had by being in this ambivalent state of going back and forth between things. And by no longer going back and forth between two things, I stopped going back and forth between things in my life. I'm telling you, I was starting to get kind of lazy with my fitness, and fitness is a huge part of my life, and I knew something was wrong in my life when I was starting to slack on my fitness, because I'm on top of the gym all the time. I'm tracking my calories every single day. I have a scale. I go all out on it. Like I track absolutely everything. I track my sleep. It doesn't matter. I track absolutely everything. I was starting to get lazy with my fitness. Even simple things. I wasn't folding my laundry the same way that I used to. I wasn't cleaning everything. My room is always clean, perfectly clean all the time. I was starting to leave little things here and there throughout my room and whatnot for the past few months, because I wasn't fully committed to what I needed to do. And because I was clouding my mind and I wasn't allowing myself to be fully committed to the things I knew that I needed to be committed to, I was just constantly in the state of going back and forth with this one specific decision, and that energy of being this person that was kind of back and forth was spreading into all other parts of my life. And when I made that decision to end it, seriously, everything changed. I started changing the way I acted immediately. From the very next day, things changed. I mean, I started changing, everything. For example, now my room is perfectly fine and clean again. There's no things. I'm doing my laundry correctly, all that stuff. And all the little things that used to really define how on top of everything that I started doing again. Because I was fully committed. I'm no longer halfway in with my fitness. I'm not doing, just a couple of half sets. I'm not tracking only my breakfast and forgetting about the rest of the day. No, I'm on top of doing the best workout I can, tracking all my calories, making sure I get the best sleep possible. And by being fully committed to that, I have started to change every single other part of my life, because I've made sure that I'm the type of person that is fully in on everything that I do. And that includes these videos. And this actually affects you guys as well, because now I'm on top of creating these videos consistently. My goal is to come out with 5 videos per week, one video every single day for each of the working days, and then two resting days for my other channels, like the vlog channel and the challenge channel that I made. And so, but then I can be fully committed to all the other things that I'm doing, because I finally made the time and honestly just got the balls and the courage to do what I needed to do. And by doing that, seriously, it's totally different, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I want you to start to notice there's things in your life that you're probably not giving your full energy to. And I believe it can all be traced down to what is the biggest thing. What's the white elephant in your life? Look at the white elephant in your life. Is it a relationship that needs to end? Is it a business you need to start? Is it a life decision, a place you want to move to? What is it? What's the white elephant in your life that maybe you haven't been fully committed to? Maybe what's your passion that deep down at your core is your passion, and maybe you haven't started on it yet? What is that white elephant in your life? Why are you not fully committed to it? And I want you to ask yourself what you can do. What's the big, courageous decision that you need to take in order to listen to your true core self and go after that thing? Now, if you're already doing these things and you're already on top of the game, then good for you. And I want you to pay attention to this next part of the video, because this will be very specifically for you as well, to make sure you stay in that state. But there's I would say majority of people are not in the state where they're fully committed to everything that they do, and you're kind of back and forth. So I want you to, first of all, analyze what the white elephant is in your life. Where can you be more fully committed to what you need to do, whether that's fully committed to not being committed to something. Maybe there's a job that you're committed to and you need to not be committed to that, and you need to be committed to something else. So I need you to ask yourself, what's that white elephant? Where can you take that courageous decision? And it's you usually probably already know off the top of your head, because it's that one thing that's been making you nervous, the one thing that you really don't want to do because you have other pent up fears about it. And there's that just one thing that you need to do. And then you need to take action with that courageousness and just seriously just go after it. And then it will start to shape the other areas of your life. Now, let's talk about the latter stage of what happens after you're becoming this new person, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And now you're on the other side where you're fully committed to everything that you do. You're going to be fully excellent in your relationships. You're going to be on top of your businesses or whatever goals that you have in life. Now that you're on this side of being fully committed to something, it's very important for you to be mentally aware of yourself enough to recognize when you want to slip out of that stage. And usually those are moments of fear, when we don't want to do something or when we want to be lazy for just a little bit. I've noticed, for example, if I have like a lazy weekend where for example, I've done so much throughout the week, I want to have a lazy weekend. I spent Saturday and Sunday lazy. Monday comes around and I'm not in the mood to give out my full energy. And sometimes I find that if I want to have a lazy time, I need to structure it properly for myself in order to make it so that I'm fully invested in the lazy time and not kind of halfway in, halfway out, so that when I come out of that lazy time, I can still be 100% into other things, because I need to give my lazy time its full experience. And for me personally, I don't know why, maybe I'm just addicted to it. I can't really be lazy for too long. I could probably do just one day, maybe 2 days max, before I feel like, man, I need to get moving again. So once you're in this other state of you've passed the initial test of fixing the white elephant in your life and you're fully committed to everything that you do, now you must be aware enough to stay in that state and notice every time you're trying to slip out of it, and you have to nip it in the butt. You have to stop the decline before it fully gets going. And by living in that state, you will be much better off and more fully, you will be more fully going forward in the direction that you want to go. An example that I can think of off the top of my head is when I was working out 6 days a week, 4 hours a day. I know it sounds insane, right? That's what I was doing. And I was doing it, and most people it sounds really insane, but you don't understand that I was so obsessed and so fully invested that it was the only thing I could think about. It was the only thing that I could do, and I didn't care about anything else, because that's all that I wanted to do. And then I changed my workout routine to working out instead of 6 days a week, because I was spending too much time obsessing over that, and I knew there's other things that I wanted to do in my life. I changed my workout routine to be full body twice per week. So going from 6 days a week fully obsessed with what I was doing, to going to twice a week, spending 3 hours at a gym at a time instead of 4, or maybe a couple hours, doing my whole body twice a week, I actually found myself less obsessed with going to the gym, less enthusiastic about going to the gym, because I no longer felt like I was giving it my 100%. And because I wasn't giving it my 100%, I actually I still love it, but I started loving it not as much, not being as excited for it as I was. You would think by going, 6 days a week, 4 hours a day, you would be absolutely exhausted at the end of it, and you wouldn't want anything to do with it. Well, actually the opposite was true. That's when I was most obsessed with it. And when I scaled back in it, that's when I became less obsessed with it. And yes, it gave me time for other things in life, but it actually in a way affected me negatively, because then I felt like I wasn't giving fitness my 100%, because I couldn't hit PRs as well or as often on my 2-day-a-week schedule as I could on my 6-day-a-week, and I wasn't hitting PRs in the rest of my life because I wasn't giving those areas my 100%. So I found that the sweet spot for me was 4 times a week, which is an upper lower body workout split, 4 times a week with a little bit of cardio on 1 or 2 of the other days. So I'm working out 5-6 times a week, but less hours every single day, and I still find myself fully motivated, still giving that my 100% and still giving the rest of my life my 100%. So with that being said, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep that in mind. So what's the white elephant in your life? This is the growth challenge for this video. Ask yourself, what's the white elephant in your life? Is it a relationship? Is it a business? What commitment are you not fully committed to? Take some time to think about it. Ask yourself what courageous decision you need to make. to make the change in your life that needs to be made in order for you to live your happiest, most awesome life ever. And then it's time to get the courage. Get the courage and take that action. And that's the hardest part. That's where maybe you're going to be struggling on the inside. And maybe this will even work for you to do something to increase your pain tolerance. Hear me out. If you do something, I can think of this example off the top of my head. There was a while before I broke up with my covert, passive-aggressive, narcissistic ex-girlfriend that I've made plenty of videos on talking about the dynamics of that relationship. There was a while in there where I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was going back and forth, Again, that was the white elephant in my life at that time. I was back and forth, not knowing what to do. And I thought to myself, I said, I can't live in the state of going back and forth. Honestly, it was making me depressed. It was making me not happy inside. And I said, I'm either going to have to full on date this girl, have her be my girlfriend, or just never talk to her again and just call it good, because I just can't do that for my own personal happiness. And that is what I found were my two options: either fully commit or stop talking whatsoever and just call it good, make it so I'm never going to see her again. And the thought of going back into a relationship with her, of telling her again that she was, like my girlfriend, that thought brought me so much internal pain and internal anxiety that I could not under any circumstance get myself to do it. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I didn't have the courage to fully make it, so I wasn't going to ever see her again. The more I thought about how much pain that was bringing to me, the idea of fully being dating her again, being with someone who disrespected me as badly as she did multiple times, brought me so much pain that I knew that was the wrong decision. And it was at that moment that I actually, hear me out, I allowed myself to hang out with her again, just to go through all that pain that I was going through and feel it in person when I was with her. And my insides were churning, they were struggling, I was dying on the inside, going through all this pain that I was going through when I was with her. It was the most anxiety ever. And then it was at that moment that I finally, told her, I was like, I have to tell you, I've been struggling on the inside. I feel absolutely terrible. And I've, realized that I can't live in this halfway world with you. I have to either be fully in and have you be my girlfriend, or I'm sorry, I'm probably never going to see you ever again. And I told her I was going through so much pain on the inside, I could not see myself getting back together with her again, so I decided to end it. I decided to call it good. I told her I probably was never going to see her again, or if I did, we could be friends. But for my own personal health and safety and happiness, I was not going to see her again forever, if not a very long time, at least long enough to where my emotions were not going to affect me with her ever again. And I was going to have, no romantic emotions with her in the process of, making sure that I was fully moved on from that relationship. And by allowing myself to be fully committed to that choice of not being committed to her, I allowed myself to expand in the other areas of my life, because then I was fully committed to everything else that I also had going on in my life at that time. And that is one of the times that I experienced the most happiness in my life, and that I've made the most progress with everything else. In fact, if you go watch my vlogs, that is the time that I went from 0 to 100,000 subscribers in, I believe, 2 months. Not 100,000 subscribers, 100,000 TikTok followers in like 2 months. And it was because I was fully committed to that idea. And that's an example of how you do one thing is how you do everything. So again, growth challenge. Find the white elephant in your life. Allow yourself to feel that pain, and if you need to, put yourself in that painful situation again just to feel it. And once you've made that courageous decision and you're going forward in that new area, put yourself in that new spot in life. And now that you're in that new spot in your life and you're fully committed to everything that you're doing, be aware of yourself enough to recognize when you're slipping out of that, and stick to being fully committed to everything that you want to do from your core inside at all times. And don't do anything that you don't genuinely want to do. So that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Get your free Legend wristband in the description down below. Also, I have pink ones for girls. I need to start showing you those more. So yeah, also, you don't have to be a girl to get that. Anyway, that being said, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys, and I'll be seeing more of you on the next videos. See ya.